The legacy of Horlicks continues to influence breeding in New Zealand, with Sacred Elixir the son of one of her granddaughters, Pt3. The man behind the family is Hawke's Bay breeder Graham de Gruchy. I spent time with Graham to discuss this phenomenal family. Champion 2-year-old Sacred Elixir has again thrust celebrated Hawke's Bay breeder Graham de Gruchy into the spotlight. Having bred and raced champion mare Horlicks and bred Melbourne Cup winner Brew, it might have been suggested that de Gruchy had used up his luck, but Sacred Elixir has conclusively proved that's not the case.
Well, Jim Marks, who was Horlicks' vet for a long period of time and a great character of life, told us after the Japan Cup, he said, well, you might as well try racing greyhounds, Graham, because you'll never do any better than this. And he was, I thought he was probably right, but anyway, we were very lucky.
De Gruchy first became interested in racing at school and fostered a growing interest in breeding through his brother-in-law Tom Lowry. Lowry stood 3 legs at his Okawa stud, and de Gruchy, who was a shareholder in the stallion, sent his mare Molt to him to breed Horlicks, a winner of 6 Group 1 races including the Japan Cup.
Dave O'Sullivan, I sent her up there, and they had to be very patient with her. She was a very slow developer, and at one stage they didn't think she was going to make it. And then all of a sudden she came to it, and as a sort of mid 3-year-old career, and then she really started to find her feet, and away she went.
It must have been really exciting watching her develop as a racehorse.
Oh, incredibly exciting, and yeah, we had so much fun and had a great relationship with the whole O'Sullivan family, and yeah, great story.
For all of her great wins, which is the one that you remember most fondly?
Probably the Japan Cup, because it was a year in the preparation, and it was conducted with army-like precision, everything that went in towards that, and Dave and Paul did a wonderful job, but that was a great thrill.
For as good as a racehorse that she was, what expectations did you have on her being a good producer?
Well, you know, in this business we try and keep our expectations to a minimum, but I think that she just had such a wonderful temperament, and that goes a long way with a thoroughbred, and so she had the ability, we knew that, and so we felt that she had to have a pretty good chance.
Horlicks has established a remarkable legacy, having produced Brew and his Group 2 winning and multiple Group 1 place sister Bubbles, who is also by Sir Tristram, while her grandsons and granddaughters include Australian Derby winner Fumicino and Group 2 winners Tusker and Tremec. Sacred Elixir is the son of Horlicks' granddaughter by Stravinsky, Pt3.
She showed a lot of ability on the track, but sadly broke down, having won her first start. And so then we thought, well, she'll be a real chance at stud anyway. And certainly, well, right out of left field has come Sacred Elixir. Initially, when Windsor Park announced that they were importing Pourmoire, I thought, well, we don't get many opportunities to go to an English Derby winner, particularly one who showed such a turn of foot as he did, winning the Derby at his 5th start. And so I thought, well, he's got to be a real chance. And so we sent Pt3 to him, and Sacred Elixir as the first foal.
Sacred Elixir's win in the Group 1 JJ Atkins at Eagle Farm last winter was a source of immense pride for de Gruchy.
To win a Group 1 anywhere is, you know, it's the highlight of any breeder's career, but to win a Group 1 2-year-old race in Australia was something else, you know. So he did a wonderful job, and to win by 3.5 lengths shows the potential that he's got.
How excited are you about his future?
Oh, I'm very excited, but you know, I'll keep my feet on the ground, and I think Tony Pike's done a wonderful job with him, placed him very well.
Since Sacred Elixir, Pt3 has left a Darcy Brahma filly that de Gruchy intends retaining and sending to Tony Pike to train, and was mated to Tavistock. A breeder for more than 30 years, de Gruchy has decreased his breeding interests in recent years, but still retains 4 mares, all descendants of Horlicks, who died in 2011 and is buried on his farm.
Those good families always have a habit of coming back, and that was sort of drilled into me at a young age, and I like to study pedigrees, and you'll see those good families always keep coming back. So yeah, and the Sacred Elixir came out of left field a little bit, but he was always an outstanding athlete as a yearling, and we always, you know, just held him in high enough regard to think, well, maybe he could make a racehorse.
It says an awful lot about that great legacy that Horlicks has left us, hasn't it?
Oh, it certainly does, yeah, it does. And without getting too involved or emotional about it, yeah, it just shows you how good she jolly well was. It's been tremendously satisfying, and, you know, I've been extremely lucky along the way. But, yeah, it's a great interest, and they're such wonderful, graceful animals that are, you know, terrific to deal with.
From one Tony Pike trained Group 1 winner to another, Tony's Queensland Winter Carnival ended triumphantly when this week's Pedigree of the Week, Provocative, took out the Group 1 Queensland Oaks.
From a breeding perspective, Provocative's brilliant win in the 2016 Queensland Oaks will be forever remembered for providing superstar stallion Zabeel with his 45th individual Group 1 winner. 45 is a tally that is most notable because that was the same number that Zabeel's immortal sire Sir Tristram finished on. On a tricky Eagle Farm track, Provocative sat wide and gained a trouble-free run, showing all the traits of stamina that marked her sire's glittering stud career, pulling away in the closing stages to score by 3 lengths for Kiwi jockey Lee Thinnis. Trained by Tony Pike, Provocative ended her 3-year-old season as a classic winner. Her Oaks win the 4th time in 7 starts she had been successful. Provocative provided Christchurch breeder Greg Tomlinson with not only his first Group 1 win as a breeder, but also a notable second Queensland Oaks success, having raced 2012 winner Quintessential. Tomlinson's bloodstock manager Adrian Clark brought Provocative's dam, the Gary Chittick bred O'Reilly mare Betwixt, for 240,000 Australian dollars at the Gold Coast National Broodmare Sale in 2010. She was a Group 3 Tasmanian Derby winner and was carrying a Fastnet Rock Colt, which Tomlinson sold for $130,000 at Karaka. Provocative was Betwixt's 3rd foal, bred, raised and sold under the Curramore stud umbrella for $250,000 at Karaka, knocked down to Paul Moroney on behalf of Auckland owners Robin Peel-Walker and Mark Wyborn. Unfortunately, Tomlinson last year lost Betwixt, who was carrying a McPhee foal at the time. Betwixt Dam, Not Sure by Masterclass, was a winner of 5 races and a half-sister to South African Group 1 winning Centane mare Taupo Retreat. Their dam was the Icelandic mare Icelet, who was twice a winner at listed level, as well as finishing 2nd in the New Zealand Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes at Te Aroha, then a Group 2 race. Provocative boasts 6 balanced crosses to Sir Ivor and Round Table within her first 6 removes, while she has 3 strains of Northern Dancer blood in the first 5 lines of her pedigree. Injury has prevented Provocative from continuing her current spring campaign, and she will now be retired to stud.
That brings to an end the first episode of the Kiwi Bred season. Join us next week when we celebrate the success of Cambridge stud sire Tavistock. We head to the Wairarapa to chat to his former trainer Andrew Campbell, check in with New Plymouth scrap metal dealer Graham Meredith to share his story about obtaining Group 1 producing dam Zarzino, and check out the pedigree of Australian Derby winner Tavigo. See you all then.